Hey, it's CJ. Normally, I would be a lot more. Uh, I'd be a lot more like, yo, chin lines and hair and everything like that. But I had been moving stuff around all day, furniture and everything. Uh, Moving different furniture in, moving stuff around. It's going to be great for storage. In a small apartment, storage is an issue. But because I've been able to do that, I've actually been able to make room uh, where I'm going to bring out some more instruments so I can play more. This is a recorder. uh, yeah, and I had trouble with this kind of stuff because, I'm left handed, I actually really cannot play a recorder. I love playing with instruments that I can't play. Um, Looking around for stuff to do. Okay, so let me just get on with the point. I'm a little distracted. Things are in disarray. I have stuff around. I was moving in some dressers and things like that to help with storage. And moving out of my like I said, one bedroom apartment, and then there's like a little dressing room off to the side that I can play around with. But I'm excited because I was able to find a way to set up my keyboard rig, this is sitting on my keyboard. So, and I've always felt that I play a little bit, work this around. I always felt that I play a little bit off because of my left-handedness. So I felt like maybe I could try, and I don't play very well anyway, but if I could try, uh, yeah, some uh, some crossing of the hands. So this here is just a little student organ keyboard that sounds kind of. Let me turn it up a little bit. That I came across some time ago. Actually, a friend is no longer with me. His name is, and I mean he's no longer on this earth. Uh, uh, Daryl. This is one of the instruments that he gave me to practice a long time ago, and then he told me, just keep it. So I brought that out of storage to cross hands because I figured uh, if I reached over here, and then I played here, and I'm not a great player at all. But I thought it would be really, really fun to see how this would work if I could maybe kind of bring this around and kind of crisscross a little bit, reach over here, do some high end over here and some low end over here, and that way I can keep my hands kind of together and maybe it'd help with my coordination. So let's see how that goes. I don't know, man. Kind of sounds terrible. But I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on playing, or maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe I need to play low end here and turn this up and get a high end here. But actually, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I do kind of okay putting some stuff together. rhythmically and everything like that. So I just thought it would be really interesting to, since I'm getting around to, I don't know, playing basically, I'm like a toddler banging on pots and pans with these things, but making more types of noises. I thought it would be really cool to break out different, build a kit of keyboards the same way that I'm gonna work on building a kit of drums, which I've not set up yet. I've gotten a little kit of electric drums, uh, which is a good quality drum. And I'm familiar with it. I just haven't set it up yet. It came uh, a couple of weeks ago. It's just I've been doing all this moving around. So and now, when I'm making these videos, I'm super concerned about, hey, let's just go straight facing with this. Let's go like up here and all that kind of good stuff. And the reason why is because when you go underneath, it gives you chin. Even when you don't have like chin, and you don't have like, oh my God, so yeah. I normally, when I do a video, I do it like this, and it's like, okay, it's a more decent looking fellow here. So let's try that. Let's try to suck less. I don't know. Okay. So all I'm doing is playing, having fun. None of this is to be taken too seriously. This nose needs to be turned up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so like I'm really gonna embarrass myself. I feel like um, that kid from School of Rock, and he was like, Jack Black. Does anyone else sing? And the little girl's like, uh, I did memory all alone, and he like shut her down real quick. um, that's about how well I play, and actually not even that well. Wait, what's going on? Why am I getting a popping out of this? It stopped now. Okay, I was getting a popping out of this one speaker. I'll have to be. Maybe it was warming up or something. I don't know. Um, oh, that was awful. I suck. I suck. I don't really practice on this like I should. But let me get back at it. I've got this book. Uh, Beginning Piano uh, for adults, idiots like me, who waited until I was like a zillion years old before I started to play. Actually, it wasn't. It's only been a few years that I started playing guitar. I'll tell you, I wanted to play guitar. I think it was basically I was riding in a car with a friend, and someone had put out a bunch of stuff on the side of the street. I guess they were being like evicted or something like that. I don't know. But among the ruins, there was a guitar, and my friend jumped out and he was like, "Yeah, guitar!" It was like a little acoustic guitar, and I was like, "You know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna get a guitar." And so I bought a guitar, not knowing how to play guitar, and it was just a little student guitar that I ordered off the internet for like $30 or something like that. Like there are a lot more. There are a lot more today. This was a few years. It's maybe I want to say maybe even as far back as like 5.5, 6 years ago. I don't know. Do you hear that? What's going on? It's, maybe I'm getting too much feedback or something. I know I need to do some dusting on this thing. But anyway, yeah, I didn't want to invest too much money until I knew if I was gonna like it. Do you know what I mean? What was it? Just a lark? Was it just a maybe it's like too much electric stuff next to each other? Maybe the magnet. So I don't know how this stuff works. It's just like old equipment, especially this MLK learning keyboard that's up here, and then this one is a what is it? Hamzer, Hamzer. Hey, sounds like a hamster. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't want to invest too much in that until I knew if I was going to like it or not, and I did. I did. Um, and then I figure if I can learn how to play these things, these instruments, just basically for amusement, just to entertain myself. And as you can see, it's working. I talked for nearly 12 minutes without actually saying a damn thing or coming to a point. Um, but yeah. BAGFEDC. Aha, I just had it in wrong, no wonder. But so I have this like collection of harmonicas and things like that also, which I've learned. Hey, this is a it's basically just about making soft tones. Some people can really, really jazz it up, and do some uh, I don't know, some Tom Petty kind of stuff, or Blues Travelers. That guy really blows. But I always find it's really good on a keyboard, I mean, or a harmonica or any key instrument that has a bass key. Uh, like the base of that is C, so I always try to find my way back to C. This is a G, same thing. Um, so kind of find my way back to whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever kind of phrase that I'm finishing. If I find my way back to, uh, and maybe it's just my inexperience, if I find my way back to the note, middle C on a keyboard, you know, well, that's loud. Let me turn it down. Let me turn it up. So, uh, that might be middle C, or maybe this. I don't know. But this, yeah, that's too close to a. There we go. Okay, I feel like that was happening out of this one speaker. This isn't the first time I've heard it. I do feel like eventually this one's going to go out, but it's like a $100 keyboard. So if I save up, I can replace it. It's not extremely expensive, but anyway, uh, it's not built Ford tough. I'll tell you that. So what I'm gonna do is think about playing around. That it really doesn't matter too much what I do, but if I find my way back to, for me, the way this sounds, if I find my way back to the root chord, so starting in C. Find my way back to that C, and then there's this. And it may just be, I don't know. I'm trying a different. I don't think when I yeah, that speaker's going out, man. What a bummer. It was a nice instrument. It gave me some. I'm glad that it probably maybe I knocked something loose and moving it around and stuff, but I don't know. It's coming and going. It's just I feel like it's going out. You know how you like have that, like those old car speakers and or something that sometimes you could hear them going out, kind of like that. So anyway, yeah, I'm not really saying too much. Um, so have these. Oh, back to my story. Okay, so what happened was I found out that I really like. I'm like a little kid making noises with these things. Not really so much music, except actually I can do some pretty basic chords, on an acoustic. I find the guitar, if the basic chords, what people think of as a chart known as the circle of fifths. So you work with that. Uh, your A's, G's, C's, and D's, and throw in the occasional, like E7 or E minor, or a slight variation of an A7, or some variations around those. I mean, you have a like you'll have like not just like uh, 4 or 5 notes, but you'll end up having like 12 notes, and then from those 12 notes you can play around with them. Uh, there's that circle of fifth, and then there's the. It's very similar to also what they call the caged method, which is just learning the shapes of the C, the A, the G's, and the D's, and then finding them up and down the fretboard kind of stuff. So uh, I'm not at all an accomplished guitarist, but I feel very comfortable. And I went, say, from making random noises on a guitar. That sounded a lot like that on a guitar, to like now I can actually put some melody on a guitar and play a little bit of rhythm. If I want to sing like an old campfire song or something to entertain myself, I can do that. And so, um, because I got uh, comfortable uh, with the guitar, uh, I started getting curious about other instruments. I've always loved keyboards, and I've always wanted to. I think it was I don't know. When did I really want to play piano? I remember being a little kid, a real little kid, and just being interested in piano, and I don't know how. Probably from church. I went to a Baptist church or whatever. I don't know. For some reason, that just, it was maybe the first music, and I want to play piano, or maybe, I don't know. But we never got around to doing it. We just didn't have money for lessons, and then by the time middle school came around, I was uh, into art, painting, and after school was filled with martial arts, kickboxing, taekwondo, that type of stuff, a little bit of judo through. We had a really really great instructor uh, here locally that I trained from like late in my 13th year until early in my 17th year. So for about 3.5 years, it was like I'd go to school, come home, spend about an hour, and then get dressed and go to a taekwondo class, and then come home. And it was like they were like curious as to why I was not doing so well in school. I was like, well, okay, because fuck homework, I'm exhausted, but also uh, Yeah, I wasn't going to do homework anyway. Um, but I probably should have. In hindsight, everybody that doesn't do homework looks back and says, you know what, I should have done homework. But it is what it is. There are people who did homework, uh, by the way, who are just as broke as I am. So chances are I would be just as broke as I am today because I'm an artist and that's what we do. We're broke and we're eccentric and we collect weird things that we don't know what to do with and we try to make things and we try to do things creatively. We try to make things in our own way. It's very difficult for someone like me, an artist, I'm not an accomplished artist. I do some things every once in a while, but certainly not prolific. But it's very for someone who wants to make their own thing, their own do things their own way, or whatever. It's very difficult, say, to go to a fellowship like I do. I go to a 12-step fellowship, and it's very laid out. And it's like, these are our steps, and this is what we do, and these are our traditions, and these are how we go about it. And that's very interesting because at first I headbutted it. I was like, boom, this is bullshit. And so, and then I don't know. Sometime later, it's like I just kept coming around that, and eventually it's like, no, okay, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing drugs. Not doing. Well, I mean, I've done some stupid stuff, but uh, you know, basically, uh, I'm compliant with my advisors. And then yeah, the result of it is eventually I got familiar and comfortable enough to start processing those instructions uh, without having to do them my way. Uh, I find that whenever I can get a book, a beginning piano uh, for beginners, or you know, total electric guitar tutor, I'm gonna break out some. I'm gonna break out some of my amplifiers and start practicing uh, some electric guitar techniques now that I feel comfortable with acoustic as I move. That so I can get that hammer on. You know, yeah. So these are, yeah, all things that I want to do. Mark Knopfler here, Jimi Hendrix, The Edge. Yeah. Uh, I would say, bruh, are you like the edge or are you an edge? I mean, anyway, yeah. So anyway, I was being witty. I'm just trying. I'm filling time here. I just really wanted it to use all this to segue into if you're someone who's interested in any sort of like recovery, and there's like a code such as of instruction to follow, such as 12 steps, and we're creative people and we want to do things our own way, and we gotta. You don't understand. I have to blah blah blah. If you give it time and you keep showing up, eventually it will click that it is okay, even for the most creative personality, even if you're not prolific, and even if you are the genius that you think you are, it is okay to relax a little bit. Try following the method that is up on the walls in those meeting rooms, as my friend from New Orleans used to say, that you do the shit on the wall. It's really just not that complicated. And why am I saying this? Because I'm a person who's in recovery, and as a person who's in recovery, I've been around long enough to know that addiction will still kill people who are not in recovery, and I'm tired of seeing my people die. This is not a downer message. This is not really a musical message. This is not a me message. This is a message of, gee, it's me killing time and talking about myself and saying it's okay to sometimes follow instructions. If I want to become a better musician, I'm going to have to learn to follow instructions better. And, for anyone who wants some more strength in their personal request, whatever it is, particularly if it's 12-step recovery. Uh, it's really a good idea to look into uh, not just the steps as listed on the walls in your preferred meeting place, but in the literature that is provided uh, by the fellowships. And if we're talking about the betterment of the quality of your entire life, uh, you know, spend the $8 or $12 or whatever it is and buy the book of instruction and read it. Whatever. It's a good like AA has a good one. And NA there's another one. Uh, these are good books if you're interested in 12-step recovery. I don't know too much about Celebrate Recovery. I think they take a slightly different view. Uh, Not that there's anything wrong with that. Uh, what else? Well, harmonica. I told you harmonica. I'm going to be playing drums, keyboard, uh, acoustic and electric guitar. Wait, let me start off. I'm trying to keep track of all this crap. Some wind instruments, harmonica, keyboards, drums, hand percussion, and I write, and I'm losing track. Let me try this again. Guitar, keyboard, harmonica, wind instrument. Damn it. Guitar, drums, hand percussion, harmonica, wind instruments, keyboards, lyric writing, and as much as I would like, I'm not going to, but I sing a little bit too. Well, I have this high-end countertenor range. It's a high tenor countertenor range that actually a lot of pop singers use, but not a lot of yeah, not a lot of not a lot of guys who really love rock and roll will use that. Some females who are rock and roll singers can get in this range, but most rock and roll people that had that real uh, lower tenor or even closer to a baritone, so and then the screaming, and I'm not gonna scream. I'm not gonna shred my throat. Plus, I live in an apartment. Where would I practice screaming that I wouldn't be like having people knocking on my door? At the high-rise apartment in Shreveport, it's like, uh, you know. But so I'm 28, and I'm almost to the 30-minute mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this off. Basically, I just wanted to talk myself down and relax and play with some toys a little bit. I'm excited because I'm going to try this because I've been playing this one keyboard, and so I'm going to practice on some other good keyboards, and I'm going to work with some instructions just as I do in my recovery life. And if you're someone who is interested in recovery, I want to put forth a challenge to you, especially if you're new, to try the instructions that's provided by your fellowship. There are 12. Oh, God, an addict. Follow instructions, even if we're in recovery. Who the hell does this guy think he is? It's just a suggestion, maybe a little challenge. But believe me, I'm a squirrely dude. But if I can go as long as I have, many, many years without getting loaded, uh, I feel anyone can. And that's the true meaning of this message. That's hope. Okay, hope. And I love you. Goodbye.